Was Joseph forgiving and gracious towards his brothers' past crimes? Did he see that God's plan was greater than their sins? Do we also see God working things out, even during great personal suffering? Let's look at Genesis 50. Did Joseph mourn his father? Did the Egyptians also mourn Israel? And Joseph fell upon his father's face, and wept upon him, and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants the physicians to embalm his father. And the physicians embalmed Israel, and 40 days were fulfilled for him. For so were fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days, 70 days. Did Joseph ask Pharaoh for a leave of absence to bury his father? Was it granted? When the days of mourning for him were past, Joseph spoke to the household of Pharaoh, saying, If now I've found favor in your sight, please speak to Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Behold, I'm about to die, in my grave which I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. There you shall bury me. Now then, please let me go up and bury my father, then I'll return. Pharaoh said, Go up and bury your father, as he made you swear. Did many leading Egyptians go with him? Egypt in Hebrew is Mitzrayim, and is still called Misra in Arabic to this day. So Joseph went up to bury his father. All Pharaoh's officials accompanied him, the dignitaries of his court, and all the dignitaries of Egypt, beside all the members of Joseph's household, and his brothers, and those belonging to his father's household. Only their children and their flocks and herds were left in Goshen. Chariots and horsemen also went up with him. It was a very large company. When they reached the threshing floor of Atad, near the Jordan, they lamented loudly and bitterly. And there Joseph observed a 7-day period of mourning for his father. When the Canaanites who lived there saw the mourning at the threshing floor of Atad, they said, The Egyptians are holding a solemn ceremony of mourning. That's why that place near the Jordan is called Abel Mitzrayim, Egypt's sorrow. Did the whole family attend Israel's funeral? Did they all return to Egypt? So his sons did for him just as he commanded them. For his sons carried him to the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre, which Abraham bought with the field from Ephron the Hittite, as property for a burial place. And after he'd buried his father, Joseph returned to Egypt, he and his brothers, and all who went up with him to bury his father. Were Joseph's brothers afraid because of their past abuse of him? Did Joseph reassure them of his ongoing support? But now that their father was dead, Joseph's brothers became fearful. Now Joseph will show his anger and pay us back for all the wrong we did to him, they said. So they sent this message to Joseph. Before your father died, he instructed us to say to you, Please forgive your brothers for the great wrong they did to you, for their sin in treating you so cruelly. So we, the servants of the God of your father, beg you to forgive our sin. When Joseph received the message, he broke down and wept. Then his brothers came and threw themselves down before Joseph. Look, we're your slaves, they said. But Joseph said, Don't be afraid of me. Am I God that I can punish you? You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. No, don't be afraid. I'll continue to take care of you and your children. So he reassured them by speaking kindly to them. What arrangements did Joseph make as he was dying? Did he prophesy that their descendants would return to the land of promise? Joseph lived in Egypt, he and his father's house. Joseph lived 110 years. Joseph saw Ephraim's children to the 3rd generation. The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were born on Joseph's knees. Joseph said to his brothers, "I'm dying, but God will surely visit you and bring you up out of this land to the land which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob." Joseph took an oath from the children of Israel, saying, "God will surely visit you, and you shall carry my bones from here." So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. Was Joseph forgiving and gracious towards his brothers' past crimes? Did he see that God's plan was greater than their sins? Do we also see God working things out, even during great personal suffering? You decide.